TMI. Confessionals of the Nerd Kind. And now, your hosts, Jeff Nerfherder Chandler and Jim Kaiju Baker.
Actually, I have two hawks in my backyard, and I love to watch them just watch the big fat furry squirrels. I once saw a hawk eat a snake, and that was he was down in that like a linguine spaghetti.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
Yeah, sorry, we went down a rabbit hole, squirrel hole.
We have got a violent episode today lined up for you. Because we like the first one so much, we are coming back for more with the sequel. Ready or not?
Here I come.
Here I come.
7 years later? How is that possible?
I'm glad that the principal characters were not children, because they wouldn't have been able to get away with it.
We'd be pulling the Stranger Things right now. Yeah.
Was it really 7 years? I guess it was.
7 years. It was 2019.
It's been a long time.
2019. That's a long time. And what is impressive is when you get into this movie, the opening scene is the end of the first movie.
It is. And so I watched the first movie. I watched it the night before. We went to go see the sequel. It's almost spot on. But, of course, it extends. Even the dialogue is spot on.
Well, because it's all shot it's made to look like one continuous shot. As she basically passes out and then gets put into the ambulance. And they do a really good job of just kind of catching you up on what happened in the first one, in case you didn't watch
through flashbacks or to remind you of what happened in the first one if you did watch it.
Oh yeah, all those people died.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. They all
blew up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes you want to go back and rewatch it, to be honest with you.
There is. You just mentioned to me offline here that there's a sibling connection between the two,
which is genius.
Not that there's actual siblings in between the two movies, but these movies deal with siblings.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a sister duo in the first one, and we got the Gecko brothers in the second one.
Yes, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
No, this is a cult classic right here.
Well, is it really a cult classic if it's made like for that audience specifically?
I think so. I think those Tarantino-esque movies, and obviously he plays a character in this, and I think he co-wrote it. I have to look at my notes now. Yes, you're talking about a movie that spawned 2 sequels. And then a TV series.
We'll have to look at the numbers the box office numbers when we take a look at this. Because usually when I think of a cult classic, I think of something that like didn't get its due when it was in the theater and over time has built up an audience. And I think maybe this had an audience from the beginning. You know, it was Tarantino. He's coming off Pulp Fiction.
Wow, you got to so I can't.
Let's see. Let's look at the box office
there
numbers.
Was a caveat as to
if it did not do well,
I could refer to it as a cult
if it did not do well at the box office, I'll allow the cult classic.
Interesting. All right, I guess you're going to have to hang on to the second part of the episode to find out. Although I will say, Robert Rodriguez, very judicial with his money. He can get a lot out of very little. So I don't know if your budget's low to begin with.
Because think of it this way, there's a pretty hefty cult involved in Star Wars, but that's not called a cult classic.
Okay, it's too early for me.
If a tree falls and no one is there.
I will concede that you may be correct. So we'll get there. You want to do a little bit of news first?
Sure. Yes,
let's do news. It's all sad news. Not only did we lose Valerie Perrine, who we all know is Miss Taskmaster from the Superman series. Couldn't tell you anything else she was ever in, but she'll forever be Miss Taskmaster. We lost Matt Clark and James Tolkien, both from the Back to the Future franchise. Matt Clark was the bartender. Now, he was a famous character actor to begin with. Which was why he was cast in Back to the Future 3 as the bartender. A lot of those guys, those patrons in the bar, were all old school Western actors, and they've all passed on now. But James Tolkien, I just saw him at ChillerCon in Jersey in October, and he just passed. He was Principal Strickland. And I already had him on my Back to the Future poster. It was a previous signing I never met the man in person, but as I stood there, I'm like, I should have him add Slacker to my poster, and I never did, and now I will forever regret it.
Is he credited on the poster? Is his role?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All three. He's in all three movies. Yeah, because he's the, they go back into the first movie and the second one. He also plays a future version of himself. And then in the third, he's his Wild West counterpart. He's the sheriff. So, and wherever he goes, McFlys or slackers. You'll never amount to anything in Hill Valley. So, but the biggest one of all, and this one kind of hurts, Chuck Norris. The roughest, toughest hombre east of the Mississippi. Chuck Norris, 86. I would have guessed he was a lot older than that.
I would have as well, because the guy, even I think when he was young, looked like he was in his 40s.
Well, yeah. I mean, when we're 20, everyone looks like, there any, 5-10 year difference.
But this guy really, I think maybe the exception is that one Bruce Lee movie that he's in where he's the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
And Bruce Lee rips out, a fistful of his chest hair.
Yeah.
He looked young in that, but since then.
Is that what made him so mad the rest of his life? Is that why he was so angry?
Well, he's just spawned an entire joke industry on his own. I wonder, there's got to be a book full of Chuck Norris jokes.
The Norrisisms, yeah. Chuck Norris is so strong. Yeah, I heard he's going to carry he's going to be his own pallbearer.
If those jokes were about me, I would so lean into that. I'm surprised. I don't think he ever did, though. I think he just kindly, stoically nodded his head at all the Chuck Norris is so tough jokes.
So he did have that.
You're Chuck Norris when
he just becomes Jeff Foxworthy.
Yeah.
Walks around the stage doing karate chops. Everyone's like, "Hiya!" He had a litany of movies in the 70s and 80s. Missing in Action series was that like 2 or 3 movies. Yeah, they pair up. Did he ever show up in those Expendable movies? They were pulling out.
That is a good question.
With those guys, because after Texas Walker Ranger, whatever Walker Texas Ranger, because that show was on for a while. Like, I can't tell you the last time I ever saw him in anything. It's been a while.
Yeah, and I didn't even watch Texas.
No, I never watched
Ranger.
That no,
Walker Texas Ranger. That's it.
I think that was like CBS 9:00 on a Saturday.
Yeah, Highway to Walker Texas Ranger. All those shows
with an angel.
Blur. Yeah.
Something happened to him. I don't know. I don't think that they've released why or how.
Yeah, well,
I mean, listen, the guy's
86.
86. I know. Somebody said that about Matt Clark. They're like, well, how'd he die? And he was 92. What do you mean, how'd he die? Oh, boy.
Lived a life.
So there you go. We honor Chuck Norris. He will be missed. He even had a Marvel comic series.
Did he?
Sure did.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he had a cartoon. It was a Saturday morning cartoon. I think it was Chuck Norris and the Commandos, or Norris Commandos, or Chuck's Commandos. But yeah, I think Marvel
did he rip out hearts and show in animated form on Saturday morning?
Yeah, he actually crossed over with G.I. Joe, and he took out the refrigerator. Actually opened him up and took a can of beer out right out of his stomach. You will be missed, Chuck.
The most Chuck of all Chucks.
He is the chuckiest Chuck of all Chucks. Even Chuck E. Cheese bows his head to
Chucky, the killer doll.
Chucky
bends the knee.
Chuckalaka. There you go. That's all my news. I got nothing else. We just keep losing these people. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of people dying.
I'm not a fan of getting old, because this is just going to happen more and more frequently.
I know. What I've said it many a times. That we're at a point in our lives where things start being taken away from us. Yeah. Speaking of which,
have nice things. Have them.
No, there's a lot of people getting taken away from us in these 2 movies.
Oh,
some of them are worthy of it, though. Some of them need to go.
Egregiously.
Yeah.
So let's start Ready or Not 2. Is the 2 in the title when it comes up at the beginning of the movie? I don't think it was.
It's on the poster, but it was not. It was just Ready or Not, Here I Come.
Because I believe that was its original title, and the 2 was just added a little bit later. And I like the 2, because if you were to say, like, the uninitiated, the great unwashed out there that are not familiar with this franchise, that is the line, Ready or Not, Here I Come. So some may confuse it if it didn't have a 2.
This was the discussions in the studio.
Well, it is.
How do I know it's a sequel? If it's the third one, are they going to make it Ali Ali Oxenfree?
Ali Ali Oxenfree. I hope there's not a third one. If there is, they got to change this formula.
I do. Yeah. So let's talk
Maybe
about
I just gave away my hand
let's
right
talk
there.
about let's talk about this, because as we mentioned, this picks up immediately at the very end of the first movie as she's walking out of the mansion. It's on fire. The entire what was the name of that family?
The
Le
Le Domas.
Yeah, they were a bunch of dumbasses. Le Domas family has been slaughtered that she was married into.
But that movie kind of makes a weird kind of sense, but throwing all this other stuff into it now makes a little less sense, because the Le Domases, if you remember, were game magnates. So they printed, it was like Parker Brothers.
Yeah.
And they have a game initiation that they...
Which is weird, because that was the whole premise of Knives Out as well. Was in that family a board game empire?
This demonic character of Mr. LaBelle that keeps getting referenced.
Who we do see show up at the end.
And he shows just in the same exact way he shows up at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
For a second.
Yeah.
So if anything, they're probably holding that back for part 3. So yeah, he's into games, obviously, just like we've all heard the devil went down to Georgia, right? So we know
he also likes golden fiddles.
The games are afoot. Yeah. So it's fitting that he bequeaths this family a gaming industry enterprise or whatever. But these other families that come into it, it's not, they're all over the map.
Yeah, it's like you find out immediately. They're all getting these messages. Nope, the bride's still alive. She survived. Game is on.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's an international, like a cabal of families that somehow control. The Le Domas family was only one in this conglomerate.
And they seem to be when you think about what you're told in the sequel, they don't fit in to this other cabal of world leaders.
Like some of these people are supposed to be world leaders that control everything above and beyond any government. They control everything.
But yet these other families, this family over here makes Monopoly. That's cute.
Well, listen, somebody's got to keep the peasants entertained. But they're all inept again. Just like the whole family of the Le Domas.
Yeah, the whole joke in the first one is that this card, Grace, marries into this Le Domas family. She's given a box at midnight. It's tradition. You once you marry into this family, you got to play a game.
We all did it. You pull a card, you play the game, boom. Now
and everybody there has always drawn the benign card. But there's one card in there, which is the hide and seek, that if you take that, then all of a sudden the human hunt is on. And nobody had ever experienced this in their lifetime before, so nobody knows what to do. And that's kind of the case in this one as well.
The one uncle, at one point, the uncle's watching YouTube videos on how to work the crossbow.
Yeah.
So it was funny. It was clever. They're actually on the toilet. Where else are you going to do your YouTube videoing? So it was funny. It was clever. Everyone was a fish out of water. They didn't know what to do. They were scrambling. She's scrambling, not knowing what to do. And I will say, they go out of their way to make Samara Weaving scream at anything and everything.
Like
they are
angrily scream. Like
she's one of the most iconic squeak. Like I can't even describe what it is because it's so guttural,
animalistic.
She's slaughtered all these people. That she's watched them explode because obviously they didn't fulfill their duties to LaBelle and kill her by sunrise. The house
That'd be great
fire.
if it was Patti LaBelle sitting in the chair at the end
with that hair,
with the long fingernails. Yeah,
there you go. That I actually would pay you to see a franchise on that. But she comes out and she's all cool, calm, and collective. She sits on the, she's covered in blood. They go out of their way to just cover this girl in blood the entire movie. Well,
so much so that the dress is now red in the that was from the first movie.
The back is still white, and they recreate that end scene, but it extends, and then you hear the ambulance and you hear the firefighters show up, and then you just see her break down. Like literally, as soon as we're cut the credit in the first movie, you see it extended here, where she's now like the realization of what just happened, and she kind of like she does that shuddering, I'm gonna fall apart, and passes out.
It's an insult to the character of the first movie because at the end of the first movie
is an insult to this character.
She survived, and she is the victim.
She's the final girl
at the end. And when she so matter-of-factly says to the EMT, in-laws.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a punchline. It's boom.
Yeah, to show that she just faints right after that.
Which is fine. That's fine.
And then the camera stays focused on her face all through the ambulance, which I think is brilliant.
Yeah.
But they could have gone so many extra steps to make it even more so. Now, the reason I say that is seeing the trailer for this movie, it made it seem the bad guys kidnap her again. They put a bag over her head. And in the trailer, they pull the bag off of her head. And she sees she's sitting next to her sister, and she starts freaking out. That doesn't happen in the movie.
You get a little too much exposition but to your point, that scene is brilliant because it's all one shot. It's made to look like all one shot. She goes in a cardiac arrest. They have to paddle her. And every time they shock her, that's where you start getting the flashbacks to the first movie. So you're being fed like it's her brain. It's her brain like processing what just happened. But you as the viewer are being fed. All right, this is what she just went through. And then she wakes up in the hospital and she's handcuffed and she's being told, you are under investigation. You're the only one who survived. All these people are dead. You have blood all over you and it's not yours.
You know, we find out that this all took place in Connecticut. I'm not even sure if we knew that in the first movie.
I don't remember where it does.
But it's the Connecticut cop. What was it? Woodlawn or something was the name of the town that they were in.
Made up. I think isn't that where Scream takes place?
It was where the governor was from in The Walking Dead, whatever that was.
Imagine if he showed up. That would have been fun.
But the cop is telling her, you know, you're our prime suspect. You've got all the victims' blood all over you. And I was expecting when she woke up and she was handcuffed, okay, they've got her. They own the world.
Yeah.
This cop was one of them.
Yes. You're told numerous times, we own the cops. We control everything. That should have been the end of the movie right there. We got it.
So then there's all this exposition. The sister comes in. And you get the backstory between them. Oh, you know, because we learned that Grace was a foster child in the first movie and had no family. And that's why she so desperately wants...
I don't remember that, but obviously they laid that groundwork.
They did. That's why she wants to impress the new La Domas family so much to go along with all this, right?
Yeah.
You know, wasn't this girl mentioned in the first movie? Well, because we had a rift and Grace left me to go with the new guy that was in the first movie. And I was 15 and you kept me with this foster family and whatever.
Yeah, I don't like this because you're cheering for this girl in the first movie because she's thrown in here. They're kind of making her like a piece of crap because repeatedly you're told you left me. Well, you were only 15. Yeah, that's when I needed you the most. You know, and she's like, what are you even doing here? Because you never changed your emergency contact number.
But yet she keeps telling her, I would have called you if I knew where you were. Well, how would you know to put her emergency contact
and that
down?
She still had the same number. So she had a phone at 15, but so there's a lot of disconnects. And I don't think this does Grace's character any, it lessens this character in my eyes. Because now you immediately start feeling for the sister.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, you were a stupid 18. Well, I was going to come get you. But you never did. You never did. Now you're friggin' marrying a rich dick, as she kept saying.
Now we're introduced to all the various members in jump cuts of the other families. And I guess there were 6 altogether, 6 families.
I'm going to tell you right now, I lost count of who was connected to whom. They were all showing up. This was like a Knives Out kind of reveal where all these characters come out of the woodwork. They're all getting these emergency contact messages. That's it. Game on. Bride's alive. Dumas family's dead. So that means there's a vacancy. This didn't make any sense to me. So we're introduced to Sarah Michelle Gellar and her brother, so Ursula and Titus. And their father is the supreme leader, for lack of a better term, or high priestess or whatever, of this entire cabal.
Played by director David Cronenberg.
Yeah. And he says the only way that this is going to make any sense is if you kill me. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me at all. Why did they have to kill their father in order to ascend? He already had the ring.
Oh, you know why? Because in this instance, they would have made the father hunt Grace, because the first member of the family has to go on the hunt. So they have to kill him, then
so
Titus
like
and them.
I would have liked to have seen him out there in a wheelchair just chasing her around with a shotgun. Okay, so now there's 2 vacancies, or no?
Now there's because Kevin Durand jumps the gun and tries to kill her in the hospital and ends up killing his whole bloodline. So now there's 4 families.
I'll tell you
left.
what. Okay, so you're right. So he jumped the gun, and immediately you think, all right, this guy's got her dead to right in the hospital, and he blows up, and you find out, he broke the rules, and Laval just blew him up. And it's great because the minute I saw that character, Kevin Durand is one of those character actors that shows up in a lot of different movies. And I'm like, he's the piece of crap that beat up Hugh Jackman in Real Steel.
Well, we've got 2 Lost alumni in here with Kevin Durand and Nestor Carbonell.
Nestor Carbonelli, who the minute you see him, you're like, oh, I know that guy. And you're like, oh, yeah, he was on Lost.
So the sister is now believing Grace because Grace tried to tell her what happened, and the sister, is having no part of it. What? You married into a cult?
How did you not have any? How did you not know that?
But Kevin Durand shows up, kills everybody, including the cops, to try to kill. And now the sister is a believer, and it's within seconds after Kevin Durand blows up. In comes Sarah Michelle Gellar and the brother, right, to knock her out and take her in.
Yeah. So this guy Titus, who's got little dick energy the entire movie, he is just, every one of these characters is so despicable. You are rooting for them to be taken out. And especially later on in the movie, he beats the living crap out of Faith, the sister. And it's brutal. I've not seen a hallway fight scene that brutal since Daredevil season 1.
Or True Romance, when James Gandolfini goes off on Patricia Arquette.
No, don't even remind me. I friggin' put that one out of my memory.
So I'm going to get back now to that opening shot in the ambulance. Now, I think that they could have saved themselves a good 15 minutes of this running time if what they did, these bad guys own the EMS, own the police, own everybody. Yeah. So if they just kept that camera shot on her face and you're just hearing what's going on, they wheel her into the ambulance, they could say, okay, let's bring her to the families now.
Right.
And you could have followed her not the entire ride, but she would have gotten out of the ambulance. They would have put the thing over her head, and then you're introduced to everyone.
That would have been a clean. But there's no other way. Then how do you? Well, yeah, because
then the sister is sitting right next to her, and then she's like in the trailer. She screams.
You could have gotten all that exposition as they're on the run.
You could have gotten the exposition as they're sitting there in the chairs next to each other.
You know what? Yeah, you're right, because that hospital scene is extraneous. It goes on a bit too long, and it's just
all it does is raise the question. Well, if they own the police, then why is she even here to begin with?
Right. Now, mind you, this is coming on the heels of this girl getting shot in the hand. She has a hole in her hand. And they seem to have forgotten that she stepped on a nail, because that's never brought up or addressed.
Well, no, the nail goes through her hand that was just shot through in the first.
Why do I think it was she stepped on it? She did it,
and it was a little kid that shot her in the hand.
So she got the nail and the shot in the hand.
Yeah, well, remember she was trying to crawl out of the dead body pit. And when she reached up, there was a nail coming out of the board, and the whole. It went through her hand hole, and she used that as leverage to pull herself out.
I was thinking that it went through her foot. This is what I get for not rewatching the first one. Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
But, we haven't mentioned Frodo yet.
No. So this character, who I guess is just referred to as the lawyer, I don't think he has a name. And he's like in charge of this entire thing. He's the mouthpiece for LaBelle.
He's like the familiar, like Renfield or something.
Yeah. He's just got the law book there. He's just telling him this is how it's going to play out. So he is there. They should have just named him Mr. Exposition.
now she's in the same position as she was in the first movie, where they've got to hunt her, but this time, whoever wins gets control of the families, and hence they get control of everything in the world.
Because she survived triggers this second round kind of a thing, like winner take all. But this is not before she decides she can't be running around in a hospital gown. So she puts back on her bridal gown and her shoes, her iconic outfit from the first movie.
So how did they determine that it was the victim's blood if it's still in a plastic bag in the hospital? Yeah,
there does seem to be a question as to the timeline around this stuff, because you're right, it wasn't in forensics. It was just how long was she in the hospital bed?
It was under her bed in the plastic bag where you put your shoes.
Yeah, that the police officer brought in. Here, by the way, I brought back in all your evidence that proves that you killed these people. I'm just going to leave this over here conveniently for you to put it back on. And this is like Gilligan changing, you can't have her run around a different outfit. He's got to have a red shirt. She's got to have that dress on. It's funny you mentioned you referred to it as a franchise. This is only the second movie.
We'll talk about box office, but I don't think it's doing great, especially now that we're talking about it in its second weekend.
For what it is, I do appreciate it's the same directors, right?
It is, yeah.
Bettinelli, Olpen, and Tyler Gillette. So it's the same directors. I do appreciate the fact that they opened it up to like this. It's a larger. It's not just this family. It's a larger international cabal kind of a thing. So now, like you said, she's right back where she was in the first movie, on the run.
Yeah, getting new wounds that she's got to tend to.
Right, and she's handcuffed to her sister, who wants nothing to do with her. They're already fighting. They leave him on the golf course. It's like, again, you knocked her out. You actually took care of her.
And it seems
just hang her up like a piñata, and whoever knocks her head off wins.
And the first movie, at least, was very straightforward. Okay, you've got to survive till dawn in order to win this thing. But they keep throwing caveats and out clauses in this and other things. I guess if she agrees to marry one of the
that's
family
a weird
members.
Thing that was thrown in there, because the one girl, I've got an out for you. You don't need to marry my son, who was 14?
Yeah. Just tell her, marry me. It didn't look like she had a husband.
Right. Yeah. And if you can't kill each other, so the family can't kill each other, or automatically they're ousted and their entire family is taken out by LaBelle. You have to use a weapon from the century or the age in which you became part of this cabal, which seems weird.
And they can't use cameras because that's not traditional, although they break that rule.
Right. At one point, Elisha's character actually catches the one piece of crap brother trying to text to his family because they're watching on closed circuit TVs in the golf course. Through
all these machinations, Grace and Faith obviously become tight during this whole, they have their ups and downs over the course of the night.
Why'd you leave me? Well, so there's a lot of the sibling angst that they have to get out of their system, and they find out that both of them kind of lied to each other and blah, blah, blah. You know what? Well, I need you to survive. You need me to survive.
And there's some inventive kills in here. Nestor goes down pretty quickly. Surprisingly, there was the one guy who got caught in the industrial washing machine and got his skin melted off.
That one was grisly. And what was more fun was the fact that the whole so the other rule is if one of the head family member goes out next in line, boom, your turn. Get out there. Go kill her. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I didn't ask for this.
They didn't do that in the first movie. It was just all of them going after
all of them. Yeah, it wasn't like one at a time. They were all out for her. But you're right that the washing machine was pretty grisly because he boiled.
And so then we get, of course, that fight that you alluded to already between the baby sister and the evil twin brother Titus. And it goes on a little bit too long. It is extremely violent.
It is rough. It is rough to watch. And like I said, they're going out of their way to maim Grace. She's getting glass shards in her arm. Yeah, one of the girls was engaged to Alex, her husband.
From the first movie.
Movie, you find out that that's an ex-fiance.
So that's the angry ex-girlfriend.
So she's got a rocket launcher.
And she's also wearing a wedding dress because she stole her fiance. So it's the battle of the brides at one point.
Battle of the brides. At one point, Sarah Michelle Gellar picks up a crossbow. I'm like, oh, we got Buffy with a crossbow.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately,
that's as far as
that's as close as Sarah Michelle's going to get to that because they just
Yeah, we
ixnayed
talked
the
about
Buffy.
that.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, if you haven't already figured out that we're spoiling this movie. I was actually surprised when she went down, when Sarah Michelle I thought she would be the last one standing
Yeah, she gets
of the
taken out by her
families.
own brother.
The twins, yeah, Titus takes her out, and as the movie progresses, you realize what a just
Yeah,
douchebag
no, like I said, this guy's
that
got little
Titus
dick
is.
energy. He's just an absolute, and he's the first one when they do knock out Grace in the hospital. He whispers to her and he says, "I'm the one who's going to take you down."
Yeah.
She's already down. Take her out. End the movie. Ascend. No, we're going to play out this game.
He ends up killing his own sister,
Yeah.
Sarah Michelle. So he takes his own twin out. And then to save her sister, because she already knows about this loophole, she offers to marry Titus at the end of the movie to end it all. Because if she marries Titus, then she becomes
Part of the family. And then she pulls this, no, I'm just going to marry you. I'm going to marry you. You can ascend to the throne and fine. I'll kill people for a living for the rest of my life. And you see this coming a mile away. How these other characters don't see this loophole, because he tells her as he's killing his sister, it doesn't count when you kill family. It didn't make any sense. Because the one lady, so you mentioned Nestor's character who gets taken out accidentally by the katana blade through the neck. And then that lady immediately explodes, right? Because she accidentally killed one of the other members. Like, wouldn't her kid then die? Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost track of how it worked.
Yeah, no.
Early on.
And Elijah's just standing there with the book and he's just like, no, you're up. Let's go. Like it's a basketball game. And, all right, let's clear the benches.
Yeah. Now, Buffy did do the idea that I thought that the other woman was going to lay on her, like, just marry me instead of my brother and we'll rule together. And that's when she gets killed.
I would have watched that.
Kind of a confusing ending as well. So they're setting up for this wedding between Titus and Grace. And there's another like dead body pit because they have to go to the greatest hits from the first movie.
Can I just tell you that pit had to reek?
Yeah. Even when it was closed.
Yeah, no. It's like, you don't have maids for that shit? Come on. You
just
roll the world.
All the animals, all the sacrifices that goes in this pit. So they start to have the wedding, and I guess if you don't put even though that they did the vows, she didn't put the ring on her finger, so that didn't count, or she took it off, and
no,
then
she
they're
did
not
put
married.
The ring on.
But then
because
she throws it into the pit.
Married. She had to be married in order to kill him.
I guess so. You're right.
That was the whole point. So this brings the entire movie to a screaming halt. Because they all show up and they're all in robes and yep, we're here for a wedding. No, an hour ago you were trying to kill this girl. And her name is in the book where she signed. I'm like, who printed that? Do you have a 24-hour Guten press down in the basement?
It's the same printing company that came out with the New York Post in A Quiet Place in the first movie.
Someone's still out there. I gotta keep the news going. Someone's got to know what's going on.
They send the newspapers back from the future into the past.
There you go.
She says, I remove myself from this council. She throws the ring in the dead body pit, and they all jump for it. Like, if they put the ring on, they're going to be...
2 minutes left. They have 2 minutes left. There was 3 minutes left.
Until dawn.
Yeah. So that was it. They have 3 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it was just me thinking 2 steps ahead, but I'm like, I saw this coming a mile away. What she was going to plan on doing. It's like, this guy didn't see this coming.
Well, he was kind of an idiot.
He's so despicable that you cheer for the fact that she is now just stabbing the crap out of him with the pen she just signed to become his betrothed.
They were going to sacrifice a goat during the wedding because there's a goat tied up.
Did you did you catch the fact that when she tells everybody to kneel, the goat knelt down?
I did see that. Yes.
Yeah. And I guess that was just a happy accident, but I'm like, even the goat's kneeling. And she could have just ruled. She could have made the world a better place.
I think that she opened herself up, though, to too much risk. She threw that ring down when she still had 3 minutes left until
hold
dawn.
On to it. Yeah.
I'm like, wait until you got 30 seconds then, because they could somebody could have put that on their finger.
Apparently, she's never bid on eBay. because you got to wait until the last 15 seconds. You can't be throwing that out there 3 minutes before.
But what's also great is
too much time
she
left
throws in the goat knife as well, so to give them a little.
Now they're stabbing each other. And it's just a melee, just a brutal infighting. They're choking each other. Even the guard, the one lady who was there the whole time, as like a servant, she's fighting for it. You get to control the world.
So everybody jumps in. Everybody except the lawyer and his two minions that are standing on either side of him.
What was up with those two guys?
Yeah, I don't know who they were.
Like eunuchs.
But they were obviously human because you could see their faces.
You could see their faces underneath the.
It's where Dr. Evil gets his minions. It's like minions are us.
Right. I'll take 2 of those off that shelf. 1 of those. Elijah just kind of like folds his book up and sneaks down the secret escape elevator. The clock strikes midnight or whatever, and they all start.
All the families blow up at once, and it's like that fountain of blood from Army of Darkness coming out of the hole. Yeah. In the beginning.
And you can't go 5 minutes without this girl getting covered in blood.
Yeah.
It's like the shtick.
So that just leaves Faith and Grace, the sisters, walk out with the goat.
With the goat? What are you going to do with the goat? I don't know what I'm going to do with the goat. Yeah, and they're just walking out. She's right back where she started from, except now she has a second round of dead bodies. She's right back where she started. She was being accused of murder at the beginning of the movie. Now you got a dead investigator and another 20 people. Probably more so.
And
you're the only survivor?
If the lawyer is still alive, does he take over the world? Does he own the police?
I don't think so. I don't think he has any stake in this. He is just there to fulfill LaBelle's wishes. And we do see, like you said at the beginning of the coverage, you see his ghostly visage giving her a thumbs up or whatever at the end.
Yep, I'll see you in part 3, pretty much he's saying.
And so you want to know more about this Elijah Wood character than anything else going on right now. You're like, all right, is this guy immortal? Has he been around forever? What's LaBelle's backstory? This is like watching Weapons and being like, all right, Gladys, we need to find out what's going on with this thing.
But we may never know because on a budget of $14 million, now we're in its second weekend, it is currently at $16 million. So it just barely this weekend so far eked over its budget. So unless it does gangbusters on pay-per-view at home.
Which I think may be the case. You know what was weird? So I went, 1 o'clock on a Saturday, second week. I don't know how your viewing was. I had a few teenage girls in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is interesting because you normally, or maybe it's just the movies we chose when we do these things, but that's not a demographic I see a lot by themselves in a movie theater. Maybe in their early 20s, probably my son's age. They're by themselves, 2 or 3 of them. I'm like, okay.
Oh. Yeah, I went to a very early show. It was like 11 a.m. on a Saturday. There were 2 other couples in the theater, and that was it.
I think I laughed more than anybody else, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Once again, I'm like De Niro in Cape Fear, sitting in the theater all by myself.
That'll be you and Mario, right? And
I'll have a wide seat berth there. Yep. Don't sit next to the single guy.
I don't remember exactly what I gave in buckets.
I'll tell you exactly what you gave.
Yes, I was hoping you would come.
I did listen to it. So if anybody wants to go back and actually re-listen to our original coverage, that is episode 74. That's how long ago we covered the original Ready or Not. Paired up with Tourist Trap, by the way.
Tourist Trap.
So like I said, this movie, that was 7 years ago. We both gave it 3.5.
Oh, that's fair. I would keep that.
Yep.
For this one, it's not as good. The honeymoon is over, shall we say, with Ready or Not 2. It's candy. It doesn't stick with you.
Yeah, it's cotton candy. It's fun while you're eating it, but now it's just on your hips.
Yeah, at least it's not Taco Bell. It's candy. So it doesn't come back up on you. So I would give it, while I was watching it, I was entertained. Don't think I'll watch it again. Unless I have to do research for part 3. But
in another 7 years?
3 buckets out of 5.
3. Okay. So I'm right there with you. So I went back and did listen to our episode just to find out what we actually gave it as a grade. 3.5 out of 5. If we didn't mention that, 3.5 out of 5 buckets. I kind of dismissed the first one, and I'm like, I don't really like these type of movies, and you guys drag me into it, and I'm like, I've watched that numerous times, and I enjoy it, and I do recommend it to people. So I think I've grown as a. It's not even horror.
No, although what surprised me is that I remembered the first one being funnier than it actually is. So
really?
So the jokes in it, I think, are, so stand out funny that I thought that there was more of that.
Right. Yeah, no, and I think that's what's missing from this one is the novelty of this idea that this girl is just on the run, and these inept characters, Andy McDowell and a bunch of the other ones. And yeah, there's some silly jokes in that. And I think it's missing from this because every single person that's after her is just a despicable human being.
If you could say that they're likable, the family is more likable in the first one.
Yes. Yeah. Because at least you thought I could hang out and play a board game with these people as long as they didn't try and kill me. They're dysfunctional like most families. So this is not as much fun. Like I said, I chuckled in the theater. There was a couple good but it's more of the same. And again, it's like she's right back where she was at the end of the first movie. Yeah, you got a lot of explaining to do, Lucy.
Except with some more wounds, because what happens to her here? She gets that spike right through her shoulder.
Yeah,
she gets the shrapnel in her arm. So she's the walking wounded here at the end.
As she screams. I'm going to go 3 1/4.
3 1/4.
I'll go slightly higher than you, but again, I gave the first one 3.5. I'd probably give that higher now.
It sounds like you would.
Yeah, I definitely would. Like I said, it is a fun movie to watch. It's entertaining.
Believe it or not, Owen Gleiberman may have the last word of this review because he kind of, I think, goes right along with what we're saying. Okay. If there's ever a Ready or Not 3, it would be good to see the elites in it do something that's as interesting as it is brutal. Because it really is just kind of more of the same.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like, let's just take this premise and ramp it up. Let's make it international. Let's bring in a couple different families. And they're all dysfunctional. Oh, no, not just one family. We got multiple families.
The interesting thing is that the director duo that we mentioned before of Beltinelli, Olpen, and Gillette, they were actually preparing an entirely separate movie about sisters, and they were going to cast these two actresses for this movie.
And they're like, wait a minute.
And then suddenly the studio wants to go ahead with Ready or Not 2, so they just transitioned that story into Ready or Not 2. So I don't know if it didn't sound like the character of Grace was meant to have a sister, or that's where this was going.
Yeah, like I said, this movie does her no favors because I think it actually makes her look a little more selfish and not quite as victim. Not that I'm going to victim blame, but So Screen Rant had a one-word headline: "If Ready or Not was a chess match, Here I Come is tic-tac-toe." Okay, yeah, I agree with that.
At least they didn't call it shit sandwich.
That's reserved. So there you go. It's out now.
Why didn't we do that for Wicked Part 2? Shiz sandwich we could have done.
Yeah, we should have. That would have been good.
That still tickles me. Shiz to call the school.
Yes.
All right, so it's my turn at the concession stand.
Yeah, I hope you brought something good.
I took our second feature as inspiration here.
Oh no.
Looking for something with a Mexican flavor.
Okay.
Not something that I am personally a fan of or have ever tried, but I couldn't deny it.
Oh.
Takis.
What?
Takis.
Takis. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've had them.
So talk about, you did combos, right?
I thought you were going hot tamales.
No, I think we've already done hot tamales,
have we?
As a matter of fact. Yeah.
Okay. So Takis, yes.
So these are ubiquitous at the gas station, just like combos are.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I don't think, well, maybe you can find them in the grocery store, but you're right. They're on every little end rack and convenience store.
These are categorized in the potato chip family, in the genre, although that's not what they are physically. They're very similar to taquitos, if you've ever had those on Super Bowl Sunday, along with all your other, various snacks. So that's what they look like. They're little rolled up. They're tortilla chips, rolled tightly like crepes, right? So
spicy ass crepes.
And they're hardened like chips. So that's why they're categorized in the chip family. This rolled corn tortilla chip, invented in 1999.
It took them until 99 to invent these.
It did, which is really
Someone's
weird.
like, listen, corn, we can only flatten it. Nah, what if I roll it? You're crazy.
Now, there's a shadowy figure by the name of Morgan Sanchez that in some circles is credited with the invention of Taki. Nobody
Is he like the ghost of LaBelle?
Is he? Is he? He's Patti LaBelle's estranged husband.
Yeah, I'll never get that out. It's Patti LaBelle.
But nobody can substantiate these rumors. Nobody can even prove that Morgan Sanchez is a real person.
What?
So we think that it's a figurehead.
It's a lure.
But we do know that it was invented by someone at the Barcel Company, which is a subsidiary of Bimbo Bread.
Oh, Bimbo.
Bimbo Bread.
We got a lot of bimbos in the second movie.
Which is an unfortunate name, but they have some big products out there. Thomas's is one of Bimbo's.
English
and
muffins?
Some others. Yeah. The whole
Really?
Thomas's brand. Entenmann's is Bimbo's.
I like the nooks and crannies on that Bimbo.
You know what I loved from Entenmann's was the chocolate-covered donut.
They are good. I always like the raspberry breakfast torte or whatever that is.
But this is where the Takis come from. They were introduced in the U.S. in 2001.
Yeah, they're relatively new treat.
They are. And they have really, the kids love Takis. I think because their extreme spicy flavor, just kids these days, that's what they want.
So you said you've never had them.
I've never had
the Takis. They are spicy as all get out.
So you have experienced.
Oh, yeah. And you need to chase that with some serious cream cheese and a glass of milk.
Because you've done Flamin' Hot Cheetos, right?
Flamin' Hot Cheetos, yeah.
Comparatively, that's what I've been reading, is that's the most that they're similar to in terms of hotness.
These are worse. If they're like on the Scoville scale of hot, these are hotter.
Its most popular flavor is Fuego, which translates to fire.
Yeah.
So that's the one that flies off the shelves. The kids, the kids these days, they can't get enough.
What's up with these kids?
If I ate Takis, ever, I would have another heart attack and pass on immediately. And then, when I got to the pearly gates, the first thing I would say to St. Peter, "Where's your toilet, please?" El baño.
St. Peter, no habla español.
Yeah. But yeah, so I will never try a Taki, but they do look very appealing.
They put their money where their mouth is, because that is some spicy crap.
Some consumer organizations have thrown shade on Takis, saying that they cause intestinal distress to the kids out there today. Maybe because there's too much citric acid, I don't know. Well, obviously they're very hot, but just listen to some of these flavors. Angry Burger, a spicy hamburger and dill pickle flavor. Ooh, green.
Dill pickle, yeah.
Blue Flame, which is extreme barbecue. Blue Heat, hot chili pepper. Buckin' Ranch. Notice that's a B and not an F.
I like it. That's some genius branding right there.
So Buckin' Ranch is a non-spicy ranch flavor. Maybe I could do Buckin' Ranch.
What makes it Buckin' then?
I don't know. Well, it's a B. It's not an F. So
we reserved that F for the hotter one.
We have Cobra, Churro Charge, Crunchy Fajitas, Dragon Sweet Chili, Fuego, of course, which I've mentioned before.
Right.
Intense Nacho, Guacamole. Oh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Nacho Explosion with the letter X. Lava, a cheese and chipotle flavor. Kaboom, a ketchup and sriracha flavor.
I don't think I realized there was this many flavors.
There's more. I'm just giving a high. I would be here all day
I think I
reading
see
all
like
these.
maybe 3 on the shelf in the convenience store.
Volcano Queso, a habanero cheese flavor. Zombie, which sounds terrible. Habanero and cucumber. Well, it doesn't sound so bad, actually.
Habanero and cucumber.
Scorpion barbecue. It just goes on and on and on, this list. And it's it just ratchets up the spice.
Yeah, the blue flame is probably the ones I had.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
This is interesting because they don't really saturate the market with advertising. This has all really been word of mouth, and it's been successful. I don't think that they feel that they need to advertise heavily.
They just stick it out there.
They just stick it out there.
Let the consumers spread the word.
But in the few ads that they do have out there, the biggest tagline is, "Are you Takis enough?"
No.
And I am not.
No.
I am not.
I tapped out on the Takis.
Now, this may be the most interesting piece of trivia of all. That doing my research, I came across the rare Y-shaped Taki, which is going for $500,000 on eBay right now.
What? Is
Right
that an
now.
actual bid or that's the ask?
That's the ask.
Oh, you can ask whatever you want on eBay. Doesn't mean someone's going to pay for it.
But there it is for
Listen,
$500,000.
if it's shaped like Elvis, I might have to put a bid in.
It looks like it is. It looks like it is a blue Taki, so I'm not sure what flavor this is.
So it's shaped like a Y, meaning that 2 of them just ended up stuck together?
Yeah, 2 of them ended up stuck together, but apparently this is rare, or the guy wouldn't be asking $500K for them.
Okay, I think someone's just desperate.
I think they've got Laverne and Shirley there making sure this does not happen on a normal day.
Oh, boy.
Yep, it is like a Y. I'll give them that.
Good luck to all you bidders.
Yeah.
What do you do with that? Do you shellac it? Do you actually preserve it?
Yeah, I think we need a finder's fee on that if somebody does buy it for $500,000.
$500,000.
So there you go.
Takis.
That's my
Right,
concessions
Takis,
in
wow.
Takis.
And it does pair in with our trip to Mexico, El Rey. Well, we never make it to El Rey.
We make it
Is it
across
El
the
Rey?
border, though. We do make it across the border.
Yeah, not without a few kills beforehand. But I made mention of this that the Oscar award-winning movie Sinners borrows heavily from the structure of this movie, which is From Dusk Till Dawn. And if you go on Reddit or any of these other online sites and make that comparison, you will probably be ridiculed that apparently you did not understand the social commentary. You don't know anything about movies if you're just going to say that Sinners is nothing more than a From Dusk Till Dawn ripoff. People are saying that, Sinners is an elevated movie that has no right to be compared to this movie. But structurally, it's exactly the same. You're given a story, you're following characters, and you think you're watching one type of movie, and then boom, an hour in, it becomes a completely different movie. That's
Yes, it
the only
does.
comparison I'm going to say, and you cannot argue that. You can't help but see the comparisons.
Did you see this in the theater back in early 1996?
I want to say yes, but I can't be sure. I've seen this movie numerous times.
I did, and it sort of began my thought process that, this Quentin Tarantino kind of annoys me.
Well, his character is not likable.
No, so that's a good thing here.
Yes, correct. But he did write this.
He did,
He
and you
co-wrote
cannot.
it with Robert Kurtzman.
Pulp Fiction, brilliant.
Yeah.
A lot of what he does is extremely watchable and good. But I will say this, that it's hard to get around the fact that when you're watching a Tarantino script, he didn't direct this, as you just said, he just wrote it. But the characters all speak in Tarantino's voice, all of them.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get into these characters when all you're hearing and thinking is Quentin Tarantino. They all have monologues, and with the same voice. And that's the case
is
here.
96. So what did he already have under his belt?
He already had Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, which was huge.
Oh, that's right.
He had
That
already
was,
had True Romance, which was based on one of his stories, and
I
then
forgot that was even one of his.
Natural Born Killers. It also so this was at the height of Quentin Tarantino
All right.
mania.
Gotcha. So maybe it was a good thing that at the time when I've seen this, I don't see it as a Tarantino-esque movie.
Well, I think it is regarded as a Rodriguez movie rather than a Tarantino movie.
Right, because I mean, if you watch El Mariachi and the remake Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico and even later is Planet Terror, I really like Robert Rodriguez. I like him a lot. He's a no nonsense, I can do it all kind of director. And he's been around, and even my kids, we grew up watching those Spy Kids movies. And I think I mentioned this at the end of last episode, which was at the end of every one of those DVDs, he has like a little 10-minute how I made it. He did all the special effects himself. He had a little studio in Austin, Texas, that he just goes out into his garage and he cobbles these movies together. Shark Boy and Lava Girl was written by his son, who was, I think, 8 years old at the time. Now, it shows that it was written by an 8-year-old. But again, it's just this guy's out there just kind of making his own thing. He's doing his own. So it does seem to me that the first half of this movie is a Tarantino-esque. And then once we get introduced to the titty twister, it becomes a Robert Rodriguez movie.
All these monologues that George Clooney lays down on all the hostages that he takes. If you remember back in the days for the hearing impaired, you used to see on certain TV shows or usually live things, a little person in the corner that was doing sign language.
Yes, correct.
When I watch one of these Tarantino monologues, I see Tarantino's big head in the corner speaking the words
and he's
at the same time.
Head. But you're right, though, because now I think about it, you're right. There are some big speechy blocks of dialogue, especially coming from Clooney, who I like in this movie a lot.
But you know what the problem? The problem with Clooney in this movie is he still has that damn head tilt thing. He's cured himself of that over the years. But every scene that he's in, he's looking sideways at the camera.
Is that his crutch?
Those were in the old. If you look at ER, if you look at the early movies that he was in, I never picked
up on that. I think he just wanted you to see the neck tattoo.
Maybe, but I think maybe it was the Batman costume that cured him of that because he couldn't do it because he was in the cowl.
Like, I think seeing this movie is what made Joel Schumacher be like, yeah, that's my Batman. But you're right. I guess I could see any one of these speeches coming out of Sam Jackson's mouth.
Yeah, or anybody that's in a Tarantino movie.
See, I guess I don't look at a movie like that where I'm like, oh, I see where he's writing it, and now it's he's got a very specific language. I'm not a learned Tarantino guy. I guess I can just watch his movies on surface and not dig into them. But this starts right out with the two brothers on the run, the Gecko brothers. We got Seth and Richie holding up a gas station. Yeah. They're hiding with two girls who we never find out whatever happened to them.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't, because they have another woman trapped, tied up in the trunk.
Yes.
And that's a very, I don't know, is it Tarantino or is it Rodriguez? The shot of them driving away, and then you just get the like you see through the car and you see the girl tied up in the trunk. But yeah, these are two idiots who have left a trail of dead people. I guess they were bank robbers.
Yeah, and of course, George Clooney is the bank robber with the heart of gold here because he is a professional and he doesn't rape women like Richie does. He grabs them at one point.
His little brother this is like of Mice and Men. You just need to put him down, man.
Yeah,
Richie's trouble.
This opening scene where they shoot up the gas station and kill the ranger and the poor guy, the kid behind the counter. The ranger goes off on this long monologue. It's again Tarantino's in the corner, mouthing the words, and this is very Tarantino-esque, using all these politically incorrect terms that are probably not good to use even then in '96. Mongoloid, I think, is the word.
Mongoloid.
But for some reason, he gets away with it. Tarantino does when he writes these scripts.
I think was Hateful Eight. There was a lot. Well, even Django Unchained, I think people were finally like, all right, enough.
Yeah.
You said it once. You said it enough, and just stop. And I get it. He's like, well, I'm only referring to, I'm homaging movies that I grew up with. Okay.
But yeah, they kill the two that are in the liquor store. There's some exposition where you find out that Richie broke out Clooney's character of jail, and that's why they're on the run.
He didn't really seem smart enough to do that.
No, he didn't. He just goes into trances whenever he sees a woman. So I don't know how he even.
So it's notorious. There's stories abound that Tarantino has a foot fetish. And did he write all these scenes in the movie just so he could get a foot in his mouth?
I don't know specifically.
Yeah. But knowing what you know now about this guy and his quirks, you're like, come on, there's numerous shots.
Yeah, and I'm like, please don't pan down the camera to Tarantino's below his waist level during
I don't
scene.
think he could probably even get it up. I don't think this character that's why he probably ends up killing these people. Because he does at one point. Seth leaves him alone in the hotel room for like 5 minutes. He comes back and a woman's slaughtered. Next thing you know, she's dead. We do get a cameo by Kelly Preston.
Yeah, and she never comes back. She's just the news reporter. She's just
a news reporter. And I guess that's a John Travolta connection from Pulp Fiction?
Could be. We also get a really brief scene with John Saxon as the FBI agent. He never comes back into it either. He never shows
back up. Yeah. Yeah, these guys are inept. And let me ask you this. Is it really that hard to get into Mexico? I think it would be hard to get out of Mexico.
I don't know.
That's why people are sneaking over the river and wall. But yeah, no, they got guards. So anyways, we're introduced to these two characters. And right away, you're like, oh, these are not good guys. And then we're introduced to Harvey Keitel, Pastor Jacob, and his family. With
his daughter, Juliette Lewis. And these are two Tarantino alums right here. Harvey Keitel from Reservoir Dogs, and Juliette Lewis was just in Natural Born Killers before this.
Yeah.
Playing the
she have a lot to do here.
The preacher's daughter, and I think she was like 26 by this time.
Yeah, she looks pretty young here. And Ernest Liu, who is the son, Scott. And we find out he's an ex-pastor because the wife was killed in a car crash, and so he's kind of lost his faith. And so what's he decided to do? Take the family to Mexico and a Winnebago?
Yeah, I don't know if they were
just on vacation. Like, where were they going?
They were going to move there and set up shop. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, unfortunately, they run into Seth and Richie.
And there is some real threat to this family. It's not like that this is a lovable pair. Even Clooney is particularly violent, but Richie, of course, is staring up Juliette Lewis as soon as he locks eyes on her. She has that line where she says, "Will you eat my?"
Yeah, and later he's like, "I'll do that for you. What you asked me? What did I ask you?" It's like, don't make me repeat it. Yeah, but we got Texas Rangers are after these guys. They're now holding the family hostage. All we got to do is get over the border, pops. Play it cool.
Cheech Marin is one of the border agents.
He shows up 3 times in this movie. So I did see that at the end, the character that they're supposed to meet the entire time, this guy Carlos, who is also played by Cheech Marin, was supposed to be Eric Estrada.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, that would have been a killer reveal. He still looks good. He's still out there doing these shows.
To this day, right? To this day,
Ponch. Yeah. He's riding it up. But they're going to this El Rey, which is the promised land, I guess.
But that's where they have to meet Carlos, right? In El Rey at the Titty Twister, isn't it? In the same vicinity?
I thought that they were just meeting at this Titty Twister bar, meeting Carlos, and then he was going to get them into El Rey or something.
Oh, maybe that's the
destination. Case. And El Rey is the name of Rodriguez actually has a Spanish language station, and it is called El Rey.
Yes,
and that's where the TV version of this resides. And because I had no clue, that there was a TV version.
They often do Godzilla. They do Godzilla marathons on El Rey quite a bit.
Yeah, Keitel is playing this role fantastic.
He is, but he's one of these guys that cannot play anything but Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, I guess maybe I don't watch enough Harvey Keitel where I'm like, oh, it's just Keitel with horror room glasses this time.
But again, he's Harvey Keitel reading a Quentin Tarantino script. So there's some layers here to his performance, yes.
Okay.
But then we get Cheech in his second role as the MC that's standing outside the
even my wife
twister.
rolled her eyes at this, and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of, I didn't realize there was that many types of cats.
But there's not as many as there are Takis. Let me just point that out.
More Takis. They
There's
should have
more
been selling
Takis.
some Takis there. I bet you probably could have got some Takis.
and so I will paraphrase his big line at the end of the
Well, that's why I
speech.
said cats.
Yeah. If you could find hotter Takis, eat it.
Yeah. Right to the camera, by the way. Yeah. So who is he trying to sell to? They go in. First of all, Seth beats the shit out of this guy. I'm like, what are you doing? You're in Mexico. You made it. And I think Keitel actually asked him at one point, why are you so agitated? Chill, man. You won. You're here. The guy's inviting you in. Okay.
This begins the understanding, shall we say, between Clooney and Keitel's character.
Yeah.
Because Clooney's like, yeah, you're right. I did win.
Yeah.
But we also get Danny Trejo, who looks so young in
He
this.
looks fantastic. I know, because you look at him now and he's very weathered. He's very aged.
And he was back then too, but
he was in his prime
Yeah.
right there. Oh, he could rip the arms right out of your sockets.
and again, this is Tarantino speak. Like, you can't come in here. This is for truckers and bikers only. Then there's this long monologue that Keitel reads about
he's
being
trying, right, because
well,
they're gonna get kicked out. Yeah, you're right. And but listen, you see that Winnebago out there? I got a class 2 license. I'm a trucker. You gonna kick me out? Welcome to the titty twister. I did see the TV edit. They refer to it as the kitty twister.
the kitty twist, and they probably changed the
They
letter,
changed
right?
the graphic. Yeah, the kitty twister.
So was Trejo trying to save them by telling them to
I
leave?
don't know. So this is my question, which is, if this is your model and what we see unfold, does this happen every night? Because at what point do truck drivers just be like, don't go there?
Well,
Everybody I know goes there and I never hear from them again.
if it happens every night, these guys relatively easily kill all these vampires. So what are the crowds like any other night? Is it like ladies' night or something
Because
every other night?
They didn't ask them to check their weapons at the door.
No.
Like, by the way, we got a bunch of people who are going to turn into vampires later, and you're our food source. So put your weapons here, please.
And so then we are introduced to Sex Machine, Tom Savini. He's one of the patrons.
Tom Savini. And we get a Greg Nicotero.
Yeah.
Nicotero.
Nicotero tries to steal his beer, and out comes the crotch rocket.
Yeah, the crotch rocket. Yes, the sex machine. Later on, that's exactly Juliette Lewis's character. She's like, "What's your name?" A sex machine.
Yeah.
It's like, really? At that point, you could just say it's Bob. Sex machine. I got to stick with this. Yeah. But Scott, meanwhile, this poor kid, he's like, yeah, this is cool. I'll hang out here, because you got scantily clad ladies. Most of them are just butt naked, dancing around. Clooney even said, "My kind of place."
Then we've got Fred Williamson as Frost. Now, he is a veteran of so many blaxploitation action films.
And his name is Frost.
Yep.
It's never said on screen.
No, I don't think it is. I think you're right about
and even
that.
later, yeah, they're down to like just a family and a handful survived that first round. And then he has to launch into this PTSD story about being captured in Nam.
The brothers, the family, Sex Machine, and Frost. They are going to be our protagonists here once it all starts to go down. And it starts to go down, actually, before the vampires come out, but when Salma Hayek takes the stage, it starts to go down.
My entire house went silent. And my wife was just like, she is so hot. I'm like, I'm glad you said that. I didn't say it. This is such an iconic. The minute you mentioned this movie, I had to pull up this visual, send it to you. Yep, I'm in.
The bar goes silent as well.
And what was her name? Santanico Pandemonium.
Which is the name of a movie, I think, from the 70s, and that's where they took it from.
Oh, interesting. But she comes out with that Burmese python, and she just, Apparently, she said you couldn't really rehearse because the snake was just doing its own thing. So she just had to kind of, wherever the snake was, that's where she had to go. The snake was actually leading her. He was leading man.
But she is in real life terrified of snakes.
Yes.
So she didn't want to take the role because of this scene. And Quentin Tarantino, Rodriguez, they convinced her to, and she had to like get over her fear to do the dance. But I don't know if you've ever seen this. Look it up on YouTube. There was a movie that she was doing, and she's sitting there with two other actresses doing a press for this movie, an interview.
Okay.
And they're outside in the garden, and a snake, like a little garter snake.
And she freaks?
She jumps up on her chair.
Really? Well, you know how they convinced her? They told her that Madonna was eyeing up the role.
Oh, really?
Yeah, forced her into saying yes before Madonna took it. I'm like, that's kind of cheesy. I can't imagine if she ever does some of these signings. This is the picture she's signing.
Yeah.
This is it. This entire movie is ingrained down to this image. And this is where it switches gears. This is where it goes from bad guys on the run, family in distress, fish out of water, to just batshit crazy vampires.
It all starts when Cheech comes in because I guess he wakes up because Clooney knocked him out.
Again, no one saw him out there for the 20 minutes after they were in there.
Right.
He's not doing his kitty cat speech anymore.
But Cheech says it was these guys. So the fight starts and then the vamps come out. I'm like, well, if he didn't come in there, how long would they have let the night go on?
Right.
You know, they got to get some money in for well, I guess they just steal their money anyway after they kill everybody.
Yeah, because you find that there's like almost like a warehouse in the back just full of stuff that they've stolen from these trucks, which makes me think, why would truckers be stopping here? Because I'm not sending my trucks there anymore. All my inventory is getting stolen. My guys left. He's never showing up.
And,
how many of these guys were truck drivers just that come and go there?
That just are normal truck drivers.
Regulars.
that aren't
Right.
Organized crime or anything.
Yeah. You can't start peeling the layers back on this too much because it does fall apart a little bit.
But here's where it just gets kind of repetitive. Now, from this point on, it's just killing vampires. That's all it is.
And it's brutal killings. This is where Nicotero cut his teeth, pun intended, on dealing with zombies and Walking Dead.
But there are some good kills here. Juliette Lewis puts the crucifix in Cheech's mouth and he explodes.
Yeah.
Trejo gets staked with a pool cue by Sex Machine.
So they find out pretty quickly if you stab them through the heart, they explode or they melt or various versions thereof.
Yep. Clooney kills Salma. So she's out.
Well, she
pretty
turns
quickly.
into like a snake woman.
Yeah.
Which we don't see anybody else do.
But before she does, she does take out Richie, though. She does manage to take out Richie.
Well, he's mesmerized by her foot.
Yeah.
She's shoving those tootsies right down his gullet. It's like, ugh. Do you know where those feet have been? Did you see that stage? Ugh.
When Richie comes back, I don't think they had to put makeup on him. I think that was just Tarantino.
He did have like a Frankenstein head. He was like, what the... And that is one thing I will say. The makeup is fun. This is a riot because like I said, it just becomes a batshit crazy movie. And you're just like, what am I watching here? And I think that's the fun of it. I enjoy the hell out of this movie.
And one of the best visuals, one of the most fun visuals is when suddenly everybody's a vampire and everybody's getting slaughtered and you cut to the band who are playing body part instruments suddenly.
So it's like you're not turning these people into vampires, you're eating them. So,
and did you just make those instruments or were they just, behind the stage?
Correct, because that took a lot of work. All of a sudden, it's like this guy's butt naked with no arms, but his leg is shoved up his buttocks for the strut. Oingo Boingo drummer, by the way, Johnny Vatos Hernandez, and one of the other guys in the band, Robert Rodriguez himself.
Ah,
yeah.
I wonder what he was playing once they turned into vampires.
I think he was playing the severed head.
I hate if the drummer takes out brushes. I hate to think what he's using for those brushes.
The world may never know, because that was great. Because there is a scene where all this is unfolding. The band's still playing. They're vampires now. And then at the end, they're like, get the band. All right. Thank you, folks. Good night. And they just disappear. It's like they want to live to play another day.
But did they commit suicide or
I don't know. They just all poofed.
they just poofed into smoke? Like, why didn't everybody else do that?
Yeah.
Now all the vampires inside have easily been dispatched by this ragtag bunch of characters. They realize they're locked in because that's what they do at this bar. They lock everybody in and kill everybody.
Listen, I'd be pissed. I drive all the way down there. I get through border, and it says it's open from dusk till dawn. Dude, why you got the doors locked? I can't get in. Yeah, sorry, we're busy. It's killing hour.
We're full. Come back tomorrow.
Correct. Well, I'll be hungry then.
Yeah.
I'm not coming back.
But talk about batshit crazy. Suddenly, the outside of the bar is surrounded by bats. So I guess this is not only the vampires inside the bar take advantage of their patrons, but all the vampires in Mexico come and
I just don't think there's enough people to feed everybody.
I don't think there are either.
No, because these guys. So yeah, the family, the two. Well, Seth, because Richie does turn and Seth has to take out his own brother. And then the two other guys, Sex Machine and Frost. That's it.
And now we get another Tarantino monologue when Keitel starts saying to everybody, okay, do we believe that this is vampires? Has anybody read a real book about vampires? I'm like, who's ever read a real book about
Correct. Are we just repeating what we saw in movies? I'm pretty sure we're just repeating what we saw in movies. Yeah. So if I read the book Dracula, that's going to make me an expert, but it's fun. And then they figure out, you need to be a preacher. A preacher with no faith is no good to us, man. You need to friggin' step up and believe. Yep. Well, I believe. I don't believe in vampires, but I believe what I saw.
But as you said, now Tarantino's on a monologuing roll. So now we get Frost to give his monologue about.
Which didn't need to be there. That is one where I'm like, all right, we don't need your backstory. But Seth even says to him, listen, you're going to tell me you don't believe in God anymore? Those things are straight from Satan. They're straight from hell. And if there's a hell, there's got to be a heaven. And you better start believing in it. I'm like, all right.
When all this is happening, Sex Machine has been bitten. I don't know if it was Trejo that bit him or somebody.
I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, I think it might have. I don't remember. Yeah, but he's hiding it. Yeah. I'm like, you're a moron. So before they get locked in the back there with all the fun toys, before they go on their A-team montage where they're building out their weapons, Keitel is trapped behind the bar and he's already been bit. And when he pops up, the entire place, like you said, the bats come pouring in. And when he comes out from behind the bar, there's just hundreds of these bat creatures. So they only built out 6 full body suits. So that they had to duplicate those in, like, just film people in the same creatures and then just make them into one big giant mob. So they did a lot with very little. But yeah, now he's got the baseball bat and the shotgun and a
never-ending ammunition apparently as well, because he just keeps shooting over and over and over again.
Although I think Seth ran out of bullets a couple times there. The
other thing is that once he says to the others, "I've been bitten," I figure I have about an hour. Like everybody else turned within like a second.
Immediately. Well, he's the main character. He's got a little time on his hands.
But yeah, they back themselves into the secret passages below the bar where they find all the loot that the vampires have stolen from the backs of the trucks that they take. Somebody left a jackhammer laying around, so they do like a cross between a stake and a jackhammer.
This is Army of Darkness right here.
Super soaker water guns that they bless the water in.
Yeah, and he's got the condoms, the little hand grenade water bottle balloons. It's some creative stuff going on. It's fun. Stuff you've never seen in a movie before.
So who turns into the wolf? Is that Tom Savini? I think it is.
I think it is. I thought it was like a giant rat. Is that supposed to be a wolf?
I don't know. I saw it as that.
He's the only one who does that. And I don't remember that at all.
And how did he know how to do that? He's a brand new vampire.
You got the rare rat variant. There's a lot of squishy sound effects going on here too. We talk about Grace and Faith getting blood splattered all over their face. At least I think they made the vampire blood green. to get around certain censors and to not get an X rating on some of this stuff.
And there's movies, even if the blood was red, there's movies that are way more violent.
I remember as a kid watching a movie on a late night, it might have been Blackula or something like that. And it was like a fountain of blood that just comes gushing out, and it's like super bright, vibrant red.
Well, just look at Ready or Not. I think that's like on an equal level to what's happening here, but with red blood. But we didn't talk about Frost turning into a vampire, who has the weirdest giant head.
Yeah, that face, that weird.
It looked like the girl from Fright Night, the big,
almost like bat nose. Yeah, and you can tell the prosthetics are like all of a sudden he can barely move his head because it's like,
and he gets his head chopped off. And do they at one point don't they establish that their skin is very easy to break through?
Yeah, they have a whole speech about that they're gushy, that they're squishy. Yeah. They can just kill them because they were killing these people pretty easily. I'm like, I think it would take a lot to get a stake through someone's chest. I mean, not that I put too much thought into it, but I would think it would take some manpower.
Yeah, you'd have to break through ribs and the whole nine yards.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, there was a deleted scene. So there's one scene before they make it into the back when they're still out in the bar area and all the female vampires come out. And there's one that has like this gaping, like her stomach has been ripped open. I don't know if you caught her. But apparently there's a scene where the stomach opens up like a giant mouth and bites a guy's head off. And even Tarantino was like, yeah, that's too much. So you can see it on the the DVD deleted scenes.
Okay.
But I've never seen it. But apparently that they went to that extent and then just thought even that was too overboard for them.
But poor Scott.
This is like one of those Night of the Living Dead deaths where he's just being torn apart.
But he saves the day. Doesn't he have a grenade or whatever, or some explosive, and she ends up shooting him and the whole place blows up. Yeah. The sun starts coming through the cracks in the windows.
So here's my question to this. If you're a vampire and you're susceptible to light, why would you have a disco ball in your establishment?
Or even have windows in your establishment?
Or windows. Well, no, I think what happened was because they were shooting it up, it was the bullet holes. Even though the whole thing was made out of rock, it was.
Well, no, I think the windows had been boarded up.
Out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyways, light starts streaming through. They realize pretty quickly these things cannot. So they keep shooting holes to create like a barrier for themselves. These light laser beams, for lack of a better term, are keeping the vampires at bay.
All that's left now is Juliette Lewis and George Clooney. Once all the vampires are dead, they stumble outside, and there's Carlos.
Yo, he's knocking on the door. Yo, I'm here for my friend Seth. Where is he? And it's Cheech Marin in yet just another costume.
He's like, why did you choose this place? Well, it's one place as good as another. I've never been here before.
Yeah, all my friends talk about it. Yeah. No, they don't, because they never leave. The Yelp reviews must be horrible in this place.
Juliette Lewis is just left there by herself.
Yeah, and she's like, you need company? And he goes, I may be a bastard, but I'm not a bastard. And then leaves her. Well, yeah, that makes you a bastard. You just left this girl.
At least drop her to the gas station.
She wasn't even old enough to drink. So she was probably 18. Yeah, go take your dad's Winnebago. Where's she going to go? Back over the border? Where are you going? Home. Yeah,
because that's what he tells her. Go home. She's got no home now.
No, her mom was already dead. She just watched her. She killed her brother. Watched her dad die. Oh, he got that water balloon to the head, Keitel.
Yeah,
he was avsies. I have half a mind to quit.
Probably met Grace in the foster home,
in the mental asylum.
Yeah. So now we get the shot. The long shot from behind the bar.
Yes, and I wrote down the name of the artist who created this shot because it is one of my favorite matte paintings of all time. It's such a great reveal.
And you see that the bar is built on top of an Aztec temple.
Yeah. Robert Stromberg is the artist who is credited with this matte painting, which is a combination of live action in the background because it does pan back and you realize it's just thousands of empty trucks that have been shoved down the ravine. It is an Aztec temple, vehicles stranded or in front of it. It's post-apocalyptic, to be honest with you. But it's a great reveal. You're like, oh, there's a lot more going on here than we know. And that's how it ends.
Yeah. We got sequels, which I've never watched, so I've only ever seen this
There's
movie.
one, and like I said, there's 2 sequels, and then we got a TV series, which
and
reimagines this whole thing.
Yeah, I was looking at the episode synopsises, and apparently the first season of the TV series is this movie, just stretched out over several episodes.
I don't need to see a reimagine of it. I think there was a remade version of this as well. There was a video game. There was a PC video game in 2001 where you play Seth Gecko, who escapes from prison and has to fight vampires or other people. I could
see that's would be like so many other games, like,
it's like a first person,
like Doom or something.
Exactly what it is. Yeah. So I also read this, which I think is really, I don't know anything. So there's a character in here called Earl McGraw, and he's a carryover character from Kill Bill and Death Proof.
He's the guy, the ranger that gets shot in the gas station. Oh,
okay. No, so he dies in this.
Yeah, I don't know if he survives. I read that too. I'm not sure if he's played by the same guy or not in those movies.
I didn't even recognize the character's name. And then again, I didn't go deep enough to look on IMDb what character it was.
But apparently the fast food place is also in a made up fast food place where George Clooney goes out for 5 minutes and comes back and the hostage is dead. He's got a bag from Big Kahuna Burgers, which were also used in Pulp Fiction. And they were mentioned in Death Proof.
Oh.
So this is a Tarantino universe.
Yeah.
And apparently, I don't remember this, but the crotch rocket that Sex Machine has is from Desperado.
I don't remember that either.
No.
We talked about covering that.
Yes, eventually we'll have to.
Because that's an Antonio Banderas.
Yes. So let's put the whole debate about cult movies to the test here.
Okay, let's go.
This was released in January of 1996. Again, just a couple of years after his big breakout Pulp Fiction, Tarantino's. Yep. The budget, $19 million. The box office, $60 million.
Oh, okay. So it made money.
It made money. So you could argue that means it's a cult movie right out of the gate. It's negligible. It's right on the border for me.
Right,
I'll accept it.
If you're giving me parameters and you're telling me that it needs to be a box office bomb and then slowly build up, it is. Do
you want to guess though? Do you want to guess what Roger Ebert thought about it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he hated it.
He gave the film 3 out of 4 stars.
Oh, get out of here! He was very magnanimous that day.
He described it as a skillful meat and potatoes action extravaganza with some neat touches.
Neat. Good for you, Roger. I miss Roger.
Did we like it? Is the question.
I do. I like this movie a lot. This is just a guilty pleasure, stupid movie. I didn't get into the weeds with the Tarantino speak and whatever. I'm going to give this 4.
You see, this I consider to be in the same boat as Ready or Not 2. Like, it's entertaining as you're watching it, but it doesn't stick with me. This is probably the 3rd time I've ever seen it, ever.
Wow, okay.
I'm going to go... If I gave Ready or Not 2 3 buckets out of 5, I'll give this one 3 1/4.
Okay. I do enjoy this. It's a mindless, silly... I start tearing it apart when you actually have to watch it for the show. And you're like, wait a minute, this makes no sense. But... in the context of just turning off my brain for an hour and a half and watching Selma Hayek dance around with a snake. Oh, so there was that one scene where she has Seth cornered and she's like, I'm going to make you my lapdog. And she gives that great little speech. You're going to lick the crap off my boots or whatever. And then she says something to the effect of, I don't know, I'm going to control you. And he goes, no, thanks. I was already married. And then shoots her. He was going to cut that scene, but they used it in the trailer, and then he felt he had to keep it in.
The DVD from my library, it was like the dawn of DVD from 1999, so it was bare bones, but it made me think of how excited I was when I started to buy these DVDs when they started to become affordable.
Yeah.
And not that I ever had this one. I think it was from Miramax was the company that put this out. And there were a few Miramax titles that I did have, so it was the same kind of layout on the cover. It just made me think of that frenzy, that buying frenzy that I had.
Yeah.
Within like a 6-month period, I think I had replaced all my VHS tapes with
Yeah,
DVD.
I know. I got to the point where my DVD had to have either audio commentary or special features. They went from bare bone to like all these extras and then bare bone again.
Yeah.
Now you got to buy like the Criterion series. I can't tell you the last time I know it's just like vinyl and everything else. It goes out of style and then all of a sudden it comes back.
Yeah, I threw out all the VHS tapes. I'm like, who knew?
Well, that's just it. You keep them, they're worthless. You throw them away and they become priceless. Yeah, no, even my kid movies, the VHS tapes, the minute you got them on DVD and then DVD right into Blu-ray. And now they're all streaming.
Yeah.
I donated my entire kid VHS library to the library. It's all right. I don't know who's still watching VHS tapes. Some of them, the graded stuff is becoming highly collectible, just like comic books and everything else. Yep.
All right. So what else did we do? Do you have anything else now that we're going to discuss Project Hail Mary on its own?
I did watch Nobody 2.
Oh, yes.
So the Bob Odenkirk sequel, I believe, maybe Netflix. I can't even remember what streaming service it's on anymore. It's more of the same. So we covered Nobody. I think we both enjoyed it immensely because it was just so, he's just such an unassuming character. And that's the fun of the movie. And it's more of the same. I don't remember like his family knowing what he did for a living, but it's clear that his wife is getting very fed up with him not coming home for dinner and that he's missing out on his family's life. So she tasks him with, we need a vacation. So they decide to go to this fun water park, little Hershey Park town that he went to as a kid. And immediately falls in with bad cops, and it's just more of the same. Christopher Lloyd returns as his dad, and he's completely underused. But by the end, he brings in a character that he was friends with when he was kids, and they Kevin McAllister the entire water park, take out the bad guys with the mirror house and the water slide and all that stuff. So it's fun. It's nowhere, just like Ready or Not 2, it's nowhere close to the original. It's more of the same, but entertaining.
Yeah, I think it's on Peacock. It might be.
Oh, maybe that's where it was,
or somewhere. It's on one of my services. I just haven't pulled the trigger yet and started to watch it. I started to watch a new Netflix horror show called Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen. Uh-oh. I've seen the first 3 episodes so far. Yeah.
Okay.
And it is
has something bad happened?
Yes, it's starting to happen. You've 3 episodes in now. The bad things are starting to happen. It's about a young, soon-to-be bride who meets a rich fiance who takes her to meet his very strange and rich parents at a house way off the beaten path. I'm like, does this sound familiar to you at all? And she soon starts to feel that the family is trying to kill her. So I saw this right after I saw Ready or Not 1 again and Ready or Not 2. I'm like, come on. Is this just hitting all the same notes as Ready or Not? It is going in another direction now with the 3rd episode. So hopefully it's not just a retread, but we'll see. We'll see where it takes us.
Interesting.
It has Jennifer Jason Leigh as the matriarch of the Weird Family.
Okay.
And as the dad of the Weird Family, and it took me a while to recognize him, but the actor that played Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, get out of here.
It puts the lotion in the basket.
I see that Fathom event is coming back around. They're showing that. Was that 35th anniversary or something like that?
They're doing a Willy Wonka Fathom event.
I saw that there was a bunch of them. My wife said, because we saw the trailer, we'll talk about this, but I dragged my wife to actually go see Project Hail Mary. And there was a montage of all the movies, the Fathom events, and Fifth Element, which is one of my wife's favorite movies.
I want to see that on screen.
I would love to see that I would love to see Willy Wonka on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think that they're playing at my theater like within days of each other, so I'd have to pick one or the other.
Gotcha. You know what's also weird is, so Regal has been running this montage of movies from the 90s because they were touting the return of Scream. And the first thing they talk about was, we grew up and learned that toys talk. Toy Story didn't come out in 96. It came out in 95. This
is correct. Yes.
You are a reputed movie theater company telling me that Toy Story came out in 96. Someone should be fired. Listen, I don't know a lot, but sometimes when
so you've already tipped your hat to what we're covering next time, not counting if we drop a 0.5 episode between now and then. We don't count those aren't really new, but the next new episode that we do, we are going to be covering Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, we finally caved into the peer pressure.
Yes,
people seem to be talking about this a lot.
People that don't normally go to the movies are going to this movie.
Yeah, and it was. I feel like it was supposed to be dropped at the end of last year because we've seen this trailer for it a while ago, and then I don't know, maybe it got backed up. We talked about covering it, and then it was like, well, maybe not. Part of it was your concerns that they give away the movie in the trailer.
I really liked the teaser where you don't see Rocky at all. And it's just really literally teased at the end of the trailer. But it just, there was so much more in the second trailer. It just didn't seem to leave a lot to the imagination.
I know. And this is, well, we talk about this all the time with these trailers. You're giving too much away. Why don't the people, I saw the Disclosure Day trailer.
Did you hear the fart when she was doing
I forgot about it. I forgot to look, but I was mad because yes, yeah. Well, that's one of the fart characters from Treasure Planet.
That, as you said, that's probably the exclamation point is the fart when you're taking over somebody else's body to use your language. Yeah.
But I don't feel that this is, because we talked about the fact that there's rumors that this is a Close Encounters sequel. I don't think so. I don't think that's it.
It to me, it did look like Secret Invasion, Marvel Secret Invasion. Because it seemed like when you get the close up of the eyes turning different colors, well, that looks like shape-shifting to me.
Right. I don't know. I felt that some of the effects, and maybe they're just not finished yet, looked very made for TV. Some of the car crashes and the chases, and I'm just like, it held up a little bit better on screen. I will definitely. It's Spielberg. Yeah. How can we not talk about it?
Yeah.
I will tell you, if I see this You, Me in Tuscany or whatever that trailer is, if I see that one more time where the girl sneaks, meets a guy, finds out that he's got a villa in Tuscany he doesn't use. So she goes there for a vacation, and the family thinks that she's getting married to him, but she secretly falls in love with a cousin.
No, I've not seen this trailer.
I've seen this trailer like 5 times now, and it's definitely one of those Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, feel good, eat, love, pray.
Is this like Me and You and a dog named Boo? You and me in Tuscany.
I could be getting the name of the movie wrong, but it's just whatever. It just come out and go away.
It sounds like a Hallmark movie.
It does look like one of those, those feel good movies. That,
nobody dies. There's no killer introduced into the trailer or anything.
Maybe the second trailer. Oh. Maybe she's on the run the whole time. She's a serial killer.
But what are we doing with Project Hail Mary?
I think we just decided we're going to go Explorers.
Yes. Is this Ethan Hawke Explorers?
This is Ethan Hawke.
Oh, okay.
Who does seem to be having quite the renaissance.
I think it was Moon Knight that did it. Moon Knight put him over the top.
Yeah. I will say, I'm very happy to see him out there again doing some fun stuff. Was River Phoenix in this as well?
Was he? We'll know. Kids. Well, we'll definitely know next time.
Interesting.
Explorers.
Yeah, it was either that or Mac and Me, which I keep pushing. Eventually, I think we should stop doing the 5 bucket and just start doing 0.5 buckets.
Like 0
buckets. Like the crap movies. We would have to put Condor Man in there.
Yep.
I don't know. I think we gave a buckets. You and I both gave
the Laser Blast. We would do Santa Claus Martians.
You know what? I follow Eddie Deason on Facebook, and he's all over the place in a lot of these shows. And I'm like, maybe want to watch Laser Blast again.
Herbishimus! Herbishimus!
Little Polar Express referencer. So Project Hail Mary, which is a 2.5-hour movie. It is a long movie.
I will prepare myself.
Yes, you prepare yourself accordingly. Even when we saw it on Friday night, there was a fair amount of people in the theater. So people are still going.
Good.
Word of mouth.
Did Ryan Gosling personally thank the audience in the beginning of the movie like some do?
He did not. No. But I'm happy that I finally got to watch Barbie.
I'm pretty sure he did at the beginning of Fall Guy, if I'm not remembering.
I believe that is the case. I believe they both were there.
Yeah.
Thanking us for coming back. That was coming out of COVID, though. So they should be thanking us anyways. I did see recently Universal just announced that they're going to extend their theatrical runs from, I think, 4 to 7 weeks. Keep movies in the theater longer, which is a good thing.
Yes.
Not push them to streaming quite so quickly, which I'm happy because, as we all know, sometimes we talk about these movies and, we're bi-weekly now. And sometimes it's like, if this Project Hail Mary wasn't getting the buzz, it might have already been gone.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to see it. And I do. It was shot in IMAX for IMAX. I wish I had seen it in IMAX, but my IMAX is I'd have to go to Danbury or back down to White Plains.
Yeah. Would you consider seeing it again?
I would. And I might to be able to really kind of. This is one of the few movies that I really wanted to see and actually went out of my way to see it. Not for this show, because we didn't talk about even covering it until this morning, and I saw it on Friday with my wife. We date night, and I can't get her off the couch. So the fact that she came with me, she was going to come see Ready or Not because that was what I planned on seeing. And I'm like, you didn't see the first one. It's a sequel. It's kind of bloody. I said, and if I was going to drag you out in the theater, I wanted to drag you to this one. And she promptly fell asleep. So she didn't appreciate it. I don't even know why she bothered. I think it was a love gesture, but so yes. So we will talk about Project Hail Mary. We will join the ranks. So let's talk about it. It's a phenomenon. It's making money. And I think Ryan Gosling, he's got this Star Wars movie in his back pocket coming out next year. That's another trailer I can do without. Stop showing me Mandalorian and Grogu. You've already got my money.
And that's not until the end of May that's coming out, right? So we've got May. Like a whole month and a half of trailers left.
Yeah. I did see Spider-Man Brand New Day for the first time.
Yeah,
I stayed away from that.
I didn't watch that.
You're going to see it. Close your eyes. Because you will see a trailer in front of Project Hail Mary.
I'll get ready.
And I'm very excited.
I'll sit there and go la, 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 la the whole time.
Yeah, you're going to put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah.
So there you go. We will be talking Project Hail Mary Explorers.
Yes.
If you're interested, go see Ready or Not 2.
I'm sure it will be on streaming in no time.
It probably already is as we speak. So there you go. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, as always.
And we'll catch you next week.
All right. Bye.
All right, bye.
If you like what you just heard, be sure to follow TMI Confessionals of the Nerd Kind on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Spotify, or whatever you listen to your podcasts on. Also, be sure to email us at tmipodcast2018@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Facebook, Threads. Just go to tmiconfessionalspodcast.com. All of our links are there. And leave us a 5-star review. See you at the concession stand.
If you could find hotter Takis, eat it.